If you weren't around during the spring of 2020, it's impossible to explain what it was like living through it. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the winter of despair, and it was the spring of hope. Summer when everything was falling apart and some of the most miraculous things happened. We'd never been more isolated, but it was the closest we'd ever been as a community.
Oh, damn, that's brutal. That's brutal, Desert.
So when Sam brought up the idea of combining all photos, all power berries, and all recipes into a single run, I kind of jokingly said, while you're at it, why don't you just max out that in-game scorecard?
Yeah, I would play this in English if I weren't planning to do the 100% thing.
The Japanese version has this in-game scorecard that ranks your farm based on some pretty unrealistic standards. Some of us have tried to manipulate this on emulator just to see if we got any special cutscenes or dialogue, but even after setting every variable at or above the list of requirements, more often than not, the farm ranking stalled out at 99.9%, and the estimates for how long it would take were all over the scale. In Jerry's guide, he says it took him around 100 hours, and I'll put it this way, if I ever take on this challenge myself, I'll be happy if I get it done in under 300. Sam did it in 230.
100%.
And a couple of those hours are watching an empty chair, but who's really counting, right? Over 50 days and 50 streams, he caught 1,000 fish, he milked 10,000 cows, he shipped 100,000 crops, and he gave out no less than 1 million kitty treats. In 2020, we had all the time in the world, and the more impossible the goal was, the better. Because speedruns have a lot of behind-the-scenes prep work, and when you spend more time doing all that than actually playing the game, it just feels like another job. And if you rush it for the next 5 hours or so, you'll pretend not to notice that the horizon doesn't match up with the background, like that matters at all. For me, this was the biggest draws of all photos attempts. Because, I mean, let's be real, the odds of every dice roll going right for 6 hours straight is basically zero. But it means I don't have to learn a new speedrun every week. So, win-win. Going into early March, I made 2 big changes. The first was swapping to the Japanese version, because there was definitely a part of me that really wanted to know just how fast I could do it. And the general consensus was that the EverDrive is a viable alternative, but I really didn't want another emulator fiasco. So whenever I was going to be serious about a run, I used an official Japanese cartridge. Now, the SRC leaderboard is a little misleading because it only shows the rare occasions where everything went right. What you don't see are all the failed runs that came before it. Most of the time, you don't get the farm berry, or it rains on Ellie's photo day, or someone's affection is too low, too late, or it rains too much, or you reset for the coin too many times. On and on. On top of that, I've since learned that my brain's a little bit broken. It tends to forget really important things at very inconvenient times.
I don't have a baby bed.
And at the time, I just thought that was normal. Isn't everyone like that? It's just me? Okay. The point is, in 2020, every time I completed the album, it felt like a miracle. Even more so when it was a marathon run, like the BSG marathon. Like, holy crow, man. I have never had an all photos run that tried so hard to stab me in the back.
It's after 9 o'clock. She shows up or she doesn't. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. This is the very, very last day you can do that.
But there was an even bigger miracle waiting for me just around the corner. March 20th started off like any other day. And by that I mean standing at the river, unable to catch a fish.
Like, am I gonna be sitting here all day? Like, what?
Well, it was different in one way that may or may not have made a difference.
You know what? Give me a second. Let me just take my camera and just got bad energy off of you. Just okay.
Did that make any difference? Well, it's kind of fun to think it did. And I had no way of knowing what was about to happen. I'm just playing reckless like any other day. Does whistling use stamina? Can I still get the strength berry after that? Let's find out.
Power berry. Alright, so we did it right.
Now, I can't say in good faith that this is the perfect run, but I'll say that any time lost was completely my fault. I spent a couple minutes chasing the horse through the field, I was 10G short of a brush, watered the horse, got it stuck in the field again, and I reset the swimming festival because it was really close, and I couldn't tell if I'd won or not because I can't read Japanese.
I legitimately do not know who won that. But I don't see the Katori in the corner. So, just in case.
But my point was, I didn't really notice how often Anne was showing up in the mountains, or that she was in the perfect position to maximize fireworks affection and skip the sparklers cutscene. Probably because I was in the bathroom when it happened.
We could do her dream and her ankle event on the same day. I didn't think you could do that. But there we go.
I even had a couple resets there in the middle when I got stuck on top of a chicken.
I can't even go in my house. Forrest, come help me.
But that's the good stuff, you know? It was always kind of fun when you found these new reasons to reset, and even more so when you figure out how to get past them.
Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stand here, and I'm gonna hope that one of them walks away. Like, walk that way. Walk that way. Ah, I got it.
I noticed Duke was done by summer 1st, but that usually just means you've taken a lot of late days in spring. On summer 16, I casually mentioned that Maria was the only girl left under a green heart, but that seemed a little too good to be true.
Alright, so I believe Maria is the only girl that's still under 100, so the only green heart left, or the only person who is not yet at green heart.
Every time I started one of these runs, my expectation was to practice the first 2 seasons. If I didn't get the Farmberry before the Harvest Festival, we just called it there. Nobody can control the random numbers, but you can set a limit on what you'll accept and what you won't. The odds of digging up a Power Berry is about 1 in 150, or like 0.6% per swing, but there are definitely runs where it feels like a bit too high of an estimate. Either way, it was always exciting when it did happen.
Yay! We got the Power Berry! Oh man. Oh, that makes me really happy. I can actually trust this run now.
It's just one hurdle. There's still so many more to go. Like the Harvest Festival, 1 in 10 chance to get the coin, and you can expect to be here resetting 5 or 6 times. Or not? Oh wow. Well, okay, there's still the horse race, right? If the game puts you up against a faster horse, there's really nothing you can do about it. Oh. Okay. There's this moment where you start to believe that this might actually be possible. That today is the day, that this is the one, and if you're not careful about it, you start to move all your chips until all your happiness is riding on this one single goal, even knowing full well that always makes things worse.
Alright, so we're about 30 minutes ahead going into winter. That's really good numbers.
Up to this point, I'd been relying on this superstition that if you so much as acknowledge a potential win before you actually get there, it would summon some obscure random RNG roll to come knock you off your high horse.
Man, we're still under the 5-hour mark. This is crazy. This is crazy.
It really helped me keep it cool because there's no reason to get worked up before we know how many times we're going to reset the dog race, right? I mean, the dog never wins.
Okay, there's the one-odd dog. We got him out of the way. He's not going to be in my race.
Wouldn't it be cool if... No, don't get your hopes up.
Come on, buddy. Come on. You got this.
That's exactly what the game wants you to do. It's going to get you all worked up, and just when you think you're in the clear, it'll drop you just as you fall.
Come on, come on.
That's how this game works.
That's right. Stick that nose out.
Oh my gosh, I can't watch.
Tell me what the Bluebell catch up to you.
And here comes the reset.
Guys, we got it.
Wait, what?
We got the dog photo.
Really wasn't ready for it was the point at which there was no RNG left.
No, that's it. All I have to do is not screw up. Like, that's it. That's the last RNG we need for the entire... Like, that's it. Now we just have to close it out.
And this is about the point I'd say I made that fatal error of setting all my hopes on winning. You know, that moment where you shift from playing the game to completing the game, where you hyper-focus on this specific achievement, and if you don't accomplish that specific thing, instead of saying, man, that game really got me good this time, didn't it? You kind of feel like the whole thing was a waste of time, and the game stops being fun. You know that feeling? Yeah, I did that.
That's completely idiotic.
Spring Year 3 can make or break a PB, and by this point, you know if it's on PB pace or not, and that pressure doesn't help you out. There's a lot of little things you can do, like tilling the far side of the farm to reduce lag, and using the bridge to skip the summer cutscenes. But it's not just about crossing the finish line. You also have to have this whole set of numbers at or above their various thresholds, and there's no way to actually see what any of these values are. Do you spend more time playing it safe, or do you cut it closer to save time? At 5 and 6 hours in, you're already mentally exhausted. And a lot of the choices you make here are about how confident you are that you counted every change and every variable since the start of the game.
1, 2, 3, 5. Unless my cow got sick or mad, that should be enough.
And even if you did everything right, you're never safe from the run killers. For instance, you need a healthy chicken to get the party photo, but the final day before the evaluation happens to be the only weekday the ranch is closed. So if spring 30th is raining, you cannot get the party photo unless you have chicken feed. Ask me how I know.
Oh, really? Why you gotta be like that? Alright, alright. There we go. Extra 10 seconds. That's funny.
Relieved is what I was, because chicken feed isn't even required for this run. This wasn't some master plan coming into action. This was an impulse purchase I made in the first 20 minutes of the game. And I play it off like it's nothing, but this could have been the end of it on the very last day. So the evaluation is the final cutscene, but that doesn't mean you're done. This is the only speedrun I know where the credits don't mean it's over. The credits are just another cutscene that give you time to think of anything you might have done wrong, but you don't actually know if you got it until you check the album.
But real quick, I want to run through the happiness. Starting from the wedding, I got down to 1 cow, and it never got sick or mad. We have 30 from the marriage. The baby born was another 30. Cliff's wedding was another 30. I know I scared the birds once, and I talked to the mayor once. That is 93. And then we have Kent's cutscene. I think that's it. So 113 minus 250 is 137. Over 2 is 68. But I know I used the bathroom about 70 something times. But like 68.5 is what I have for the happiness. So let's see. Yeah, no, that's it. I've got them all. Oh man, yeah, no. There's your sub 6. I know that luck was kind of insane though.
And I've never been good at self-promotion or being proud of things in general. But even today, out of all the accomplishments I made during my time running this game, this run is still the one I'm most proud of.
Yeah, no, I honestly cannot think of anything that would make this faster. I can't think of anything. I did everything I possibly could. No, I'm happy with this one. Like that's it for me. I'm done running all photos until someone can come up with something better than this, because that is the sum of my best right there.
And that's not to say it was the peak of my career and it was all downhill from here. The peak of my career was probably the April Fool's joke I made that year. But 100 years from now, when I've forgotten everything that happened during 2020, I'll still remember the way that I felt the day that the stars aligned.